boyo gape le tlhabisa batho ditlhong a le gore ra itse gore go na le mongwe o kolotang sengwe ebile la go tsaya sengwe. Can you speak to that?
No. Well, deputy sheriff is an officer of the court. He has to be assertive at all times. He has to be disciplined. He needs to be a person who respects the law. He is a person who's supposed to greet people and identify himself and tell the people that I'm looking for Mr. So-and-so or for Mr. So-and-so.
Welcome to the Moving Humanity Forward podcast. My name is Kathy Malijani. I like to tell people I'm the village girl from Ramotsa, or the village chick with plenty chic. Otherwise, you can call me Litebele Lelentsunyana. Now, today we're talking to somebody who I think we fear a lot in our society. We often don't understand what they do. We just know that when they appear, then properties are about to get attached and something is about to go down basically. And we just wondered if you ever took the time to actually understand what it is that they actually do. And I'm talking about deputy sheriffs. I've got in our studio today Mr. DeBrain James Moyo, who's going to help us unpack the role of deputy sheriffs and help us understand what it is exactly that they do. Mr. Moyo, a very good afternoon to you. Welcome to Moving Humanity Forward, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon.
I'm glad you're here, and I think the first thing really is just to lay the ground down and help us to understand what is the role of a deputy sheriff. What's your job? What do you do? What's your job description?
A deputy sheriff, if you look in the dictionary, is a officer of the court, a law enforcer.
Oh.
Yes.
Wait, Oberekela court basically?
Yes.
How we berek?
No, why berek? What happens, anyone who has a court document wanting to be served, he can use you to serve in terms of the rules of the court.
Okay.
It could be magistrate court or high court. You'll serve in terms of the high court rules. If it is magistrate court, you'll serve in terms of the magistrate court rules. Yes.
So let's actually get this straight, because we had incidents where we had people purporting or claiming to be deputy sheriffs, and there was a bit of criminal activity there because they actually weren't. So what do you have to do? What qualifications or training do you have to undergo before you can become a deputy sheriff?
Well, I don't know others. With me, I'm well trained. Yes, I'm well trained. I hold a diploma in law.
Okay.
Yes, consisting almost 12 subjects. That is Security and Criminal Procedure and Evidence Act and Criminal Law and Criminology. Yes.
Okay.
So in that aspect, if I'm given a court document, I peruse and understand that it needs to be executed in which way.
Yeah.
Just because when you are given instruction with a court order, you have to read it and understand that it should be executed in which way. The ways are expounded by the rules of court. Magistrate Court Act, High Court Act, it contains the rules and regulations.
Okay, so just break those laws down for me. Which laws do you actually serve under as a deputy sheriff?
Well, deputy sheriff is, as I say, that if you are given a court order which comes from the High Court, you have to execute in terms of the High Court rules, which governs the execution. If you are given a court order from the Magistrate Court, you have to execute in terms of the Magistrate Court Act.
So are all deputy sheriffs able to serve both the magistrate as well as high court, or is this something that's unique to you?
That's what has to happen.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, and then in terms of any other acts or policies that you fall under, are there any
Policies like what?
that would govern how? I mean, you just said you basically come on board to enforce, right, some of the what has been or what is coming from magistrate or high court.
Yes.
The way that you go about it, are there rules and regulations to that, or is this up to every deputy sheriff to do, as they see fit?
I said to you, when B comes to me with a court order, I look at that court order and read it and understand it. The contents will guide me that this court order has to be executed in which way. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So in terms of, I don't know if I should say unions or associations.
No, there is no union.
Yeah.
I'm saying high court rules.
Yeah.
And the magistrate rules.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, I'm saying you as deputy sheriffs.
Yes.
Have you come together and said, oh, here's a union or association?
No, we deputy sheriffs we have an association.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is the point of the association? What do you do in the association?
The association actually it takes care of deputy sheriff welfare.
Okay.
Yes.
Expand more. What do you mean by the deputy sheriff welfare?
Well, to discuss our conditions and recommend to our bosses what we need. Yes, okay. So that they can attend. If there is any rule which we feel it needs to be amended, we have to sell that idea to them. Then they'll take it into consult and fix that rule. Yes.
So going back to what I had said, there was a point where we heard of people just basically claiming to be deputy sheriffs and not really being.
Yes.
If somebody wants a deputy sheriff, how do I know you're a legitimate deputy sheriff? Where do I even begin to look for a deputy sheriff in the first place?
If you want a deputy sheriff, you can go to the court, any court, and ask for the clerk of court. You'll give you a list. And there are names there and telephones.
Oh.
Yes.
So you are listed?
We're listed in all courts.
The courts,
yes. In order for you to be 100% sure that you are dealing with a deputy sheriff, you have to ask him his ID.
There's an ID?
There's an ID.
A deputy sheriff ID?
That's right.
Do you have yours? I'm going to ask to see.
I left it in my car. If I would have brought it, it is in my car, yes. Yes.
So it's an actual ID?
With it's like Oman.
Okay.
Yes, it is my Oman and date of expiry.
I was just about to say, does it expire after how many years does it
1
expire?
year.
Oh, every year?
Yeah.
So as a deputy sheriff, every year you have to get it?
You have to regularize. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then in terms of if somebody, gets or tries to get the help and then doesn't get the help, is there any recourse for them? Where can they go if they've dealt with somebody who claimed to be, or they were a deputy sheriff, but they were not happy with their service? You have an association that deals with the welfare of deputy sheriffs, but is there somewhere where people can go if they're not happy with the service from deputy sheriffs?
Yes. If you are not happy about the deputy sheriff, about his services to you, or if he has misappropriated your funds, you can call the number for deputy sheriff association, which will be public. Which will be soon published. Or you go to the register of the High Court and say, your deputy sheriff is not doing a good job for me by having done 1, 2, 3. Then they will call him for hearing. They'll call him for hearing, then you get solution.
The last bit that I want to understand is just if you can give us an example.
Yes.
Of a job that you've done.
A job which I've done.
Just an example. You don't need to name names. Just give me an example. I got this. I mean, you just said you enforce, right? So give me an example of the things. Do you give summons to people? Is that what you do?
A lot.
Just give me an example of one and the process that you take.
You remember in the morning I told you that we won't make it.
Yes. Because you're preparing
going
for auction
tomorrow. Yes.
Yes.
So actually, what is happening in my guys are at block 10 to sort out the things which are gonna be sold tomorrow by public auction.
Okay.
So we are really working hard. Yeah, we are not playing. When we are given work, we do it in terms of the rules of court, so that the person who awarded justice or the court order, he has to enjoy, he has to actually cherish his court order. He has to celebrate that he has been awarded a court order against his deponent. Yes.
We're going to get into more detail in this because you know what? I'm just not yet understanding what Mr. Moyo is saying. But this is the Moving Humanity Forward podcast, and you find us on Facebook by typing MHF Podcast. You also find us on LinkedIn, TikTok, as well as YouTube by typing Moving Humanity Forward. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Moving Humanity Forward, and we're talking to a deputy sheriff today. I'm trying to get an understanding of what exactly it is they do as deputy sheriffs. I think more so we just have this idea or this conception that when a deputy sheriff rocks up, something is about to go down. So I want to get that understanding, and we have a deputy sheriff by the name of Mr. Moyo in our studio with us. Mr. Moyo, I'd like you to just take me through the process, how it all works. Okay, yes. Let's make it as simple as possible.
Right.
Let's say person C is owed money by person D, right? Person D is not paying me, so then I decide to take this to court.
Yes.
Okay, so I get to court and I managed to prove my case. Person D took money, they are not paying me back. And then I get, I don't know, some document that shows that person D needs to pay me back.
Yes.
Take me through what happens next, because I want to believe that order that I get is what I come to you with as the deputy sheriff for assistance.
That's right.
Talk to me.
Actually, what happens is this. When D owes E,
okay,
then E goes to court and lodge a case against D. Then in court, they might sometimes assist D to draft a summons.
Okay.
If D is incapable of drafting summons, especially at small claims court. In high court, there's nothing like that. You have to seek a professional legal
lawyer, most likely.
That's right, yeah. Only small claims, they will help you to draft the summons. And the upper court will, then small claims will be village or broadest. They will also help you to draft the summons against E, against DS, who's owing you. Then you serve that person. You go to the...
Am I able to serve them? Can D go and serve E?
Yeah, you can serve a person personally.
Okay.
If you are not scared, just because people that, when they are fighting for money, they tend to fear those who are owing them.
My next question is going to be, is that advisable to you?
Would
you advise somebody to say, go ahead and serve that person, or would you say, look?
Yeah, well, in Botswana, you know, Botswana is a law, it's a country of law-abiding.
Okay, law-abiding people.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's fine. It's not.
It's fine, yes.
Okay.
Botswana, there are people who abiding.
Okay.
They are
so what happens in the summons? Is there a time frame if somebody is served that summons? Is there a time frame usually?
Yes. Yes. Usually in Gaborone, the time frame in Gaborone is 7 days.
Okay.
From Muchudi and Ramutswa, it's 14 days.
Okay.
Or 21 days. Yes. Thereafter, you go back to court and ask for default judgment if that person has not appeared to defend. You understand what I mean?
No, what do you mean by appear to defend?
When you serve someone with a summons, the summons expounds that You are called to court to explain about the claim of E.
Okay.
You have to explain as to whether you are acquainted with the claim or not. If you are acquainted, then usually people who are owing, they don't go to court.
Oh.
You end up getting a default judgment. You see, mostly those who are owing, they don't go to court. You get a default judgment. Those sometimes it depends on those who claim to be knowing law. They go to court and they argue. But finally, the magistrate will see that you are owing. You'll ask questions. Magistrates are trained to ask questions. They will ask questions until they find you guilt. Yes.
So then they issue something.
Once you are found guilt, the magistrate will issue an order to say you have been found guilty. You have to pay so and so is amount.
Is there a time frame to this order?
Yes. A time frame, it could be, if it is today, tomorrow you can get a writ of execution. Then you give to the deputy sheriff.
I want to understand. So I have my writ of execution.
Yeah,
right?
you come to
so
the
all
sheriff.
along, I haven't really involved you. I've served this person myself, and we went back to court, and now I have this writ of execution.
Yes.
So now I engage my deputy sheriff, and you've just told me that I must make sure I have seen your ID, because otherwise, I mean, we've heard stories of people taking money and then they don't deliver it to the client.
That's right. Yeah.
So I make sure you have your ID. And then do I need to pay you to engage you? How does it work? Is there a contract we sign? How does it work?
Actually, you don't have to see my ID at the mall.
Okay.
You have to come to my office and see where I operate from, so that you can be confident that you are dealing with a normal person. Yes.
A legitimate business person.
Yeah. You come at my office and see really that's where the chef operates from. Once you are satisfied, then you enter into that arrangement. I will tell you about me. With me, when you come to me with a writ, I will ask you to pay me 1,000 pula.
Okay.
That 1,000 pula I will pay you back when I execute your court order.
Oh.
Why? Just because sometimes people, they forge the writ, and just because they know that the sheriff is being feared, once I give it this to this one, when he goes there, they'll pay. So with us, the sheriff, I know that when I follow somebody, when I persuade somebody with your writ, I don't just grab these things without talking to him or her. I'll greet him nicely and show him a rate of execution that you are owing so and so money, and this court order is here. You are convicted to pay. I show you.
In your experience,
yes.
Do people just pay? Like if
no. You show them. Then you ask, are you paying? No, I don't have money. Where is the rules of court are saying you must ask him, where is this your home? Yeah, it's my house. This is my house. Yes, these things are mine. I agree, he doesn't know that why I'm asking. Once he does that, then you say, look, if you don't pay, then I'm commanded by the court order to attach your property.
So this is an automatic thing, like immediately
Yes.
If I say you need to pay and you're not paying, then my eyes are open, I'm looking around. Do you have a car? Do you have fridges, sofas? Is that immediate?
Actually, when you're a deputy sheriff, when you enter there, you have to observe what you are going to do.
Your eyes are already open.
Yes, yes. It's your merchandise. It's your work. You have to work. Yes.
So then what happens next? And I want to understand, you mentioned something about being feared, and I started off speaking to that. Are you feared? Like when you walk around, I'm sure people know that you're a deputy sheriff.
There are some people who fear deputy sheriff. There are some who doesn't fear. There are some who attack even deputy sheriff.
Okay.
Yes.
But let's come back. So you get to this person, you say, look, here's the writ. You owe this person, right? And then they say, I don't have money, as you can see, there's no bread in the house. Then you immediately say, Is this your fridge? Is this
No,
your,
no, no. Agree what I will say. This is your house. Yes, this is my house. You reside here. Yes, I reside here. Fine. Then you tell the defendant that, look, you are owing 35,000. Can you point property which amount to this amount? If he has a car outside, but usually they don't appoint. Where now you have to attach it. Defendant, they don't point. But in terms of the law, they've got to point. When now you enforced to write, to attach those things, then and tell the person that in terms of the Magistrate Court Act or Magistrate Court, rules, within 10 days, you must have shown the proof to me that these properties are not are yours or not. If he does not do that, then you advertise for sale.
Okay, so let me understand this. You go to someone's house, and you're working, so you're checking out everything, and then they say they have no money, and you say, okay, within 10 days, right?
No, you don't.
Do you list for them to say, I've seen that you have a fridge and a...
No. You don't talk like that. As I'm greeting you and explain who I am, why I'm there, I show you the court order and demand. You don't respond with pay. Now, I will tell you that I'm laying your property under judicial attachment. Then I take my papers, notice of attachment, I write everything and give you a copy of the writ and the notice of attachment.
So the notice of attachment has a list of things that you will have seen for yourself.
That's very good.
And you are writing that list down.
Yes.
So you give them
with amount and cost.
Also, you basically value them. You give them a rough estimate.
No, you don't value. Don't value.
When you say, you mean the amount owed?
Yes.
And then so when as the deputy sheriff, you are now listing, because the whole point of this is you want to raise enough money to pay the money that's written on the writ.
That's right.
Okay. So you do that, and then you give it to them, and you say you have 10 days.
Yes. In terms, if it is a Magistrate Court Act, Magistrate Court Act, I give you 10 days.
If it's High Court?
High Court is up to me. I can give you 2 days, and 3 days I come and take the things. Sometimes I can attach and remove. If I see, if I see that you are dishonest, I can say, look, we need the car keys.
Sure. Do you go alone?
Yes. No, I have my assistant here.
So you go with your assistant?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
I want to talk about this because you're saying you've also been attacked at some point. I think I want to get into that. But let's finish off the process. Let's assume it's a smooth process, right? You hand over to this person and then you leave, right? You give them the however long your notice period is.
Right,
and then you come back, and then what happens?
We tell him that, look, well, these days there are phones. I will phone you, hey, so and so, can we meet tomorrow? No, please come. Then when I go to his place and found him, I said, look, the plaintiff says we must proceed with the execution. Now we need to remove your property. Can you give us the keys for the car? Can you empty your car, please? We need to take it.
Do you, just on your experience, do you have a majority of people who cooperate?
They resist.
Okay.
But just because they know that this is a law, finally they will bend. So
the law backs you up in what you're doing. Everything 100%. Is very legal in what you're doing.
Too much, yes. Even the notice of attachment is written that if you conceal that or sell the attached property, it's a criminal offense.
Wow.
Yes. So you'll be not offending me alone. Now you are now offending the state.
So how do you know it's their car? What if they say it's not? What if they go and change the ownership and you have no evidence that it was their car in the first place?
No. If I found you there and write the car, if in my absence you go and transfer it to someone, it's a criminal offense. Yes. The law is very clear. You can always
check to see when the cars were transferred, the ownership and things like that.
Yes. Exactly. And once we discover that that's what you did, you're in trouble.
So let's end this off. So you have attached this, the notice period has come, now you come back, you're removing the property
Yeah.
at this point.
Yes.
And then you have the auction that you are talking about that you are literally doing now.
We would have already advertised.
Okay, so when you hand them the notice,
Yes.
from the time you hand them the notice till you come back to now get the things, you've advertised in the meantime.
Well, sometimes the reason which make us to advertise, if I see that your behavior is not good, then I'll tell the plaintiff that, look, that person is not cooperative and I don't think that you'll pay. Let's advertise. In terms of the law, Magistrate Court Act, we have to sell those attached property after 14 days.
Okay.
Then we can look. Sometimes we sell end of the month. Yes.
Because then it's easier to raise the money.
Yeah, yes. So we will advertise those things at the end of the month, then we auction them. Yes.
So you're saying if the person looks untrustworthy, that's when you advertise. So sometimes you don't advertise. Where do you auction actually?
No, we don't auction without advertising.
Okay, so you always advertise.
You have to sell in terms of the rules of court.
Where do you advertise?
In the newspaper.
Okay.
Yes, if it is a movable property, you advertise in one newspaper.
Okay.
If it's a movable, you have to put 2 newspaper and 1 government gazette. Yeah.
So this is now when it's a smooth process. I want to get to when it's not. So when it's a smooth process, you attach whatever you're attaching. So the movables usually are easier to do, and then you go back for the e-movables, or how does that? What's the process?
You go back when you have sold. When you sell movables and you don't recover the whole amount, you go back to the defendant and demand more property.
What if they have no more property? They're renting the house, it's not theirs. Then what?
When you file a return of nula bona, then usually the plaintiff knows the techniques, he knows the movements of the debtor. He knows how he lives.
Yes.
He knows that he's got this and this. You see?
So the plaintiff is going to tell you, right?
He's got the house in Ginger. He said, no, this person's got the house in Ginger. We sometimes go there and see it, visiting. So now, it's like that. Then we go, what is the plot number? I get the plot number. We go to deeds registry with a court order. I say, deeds registrar, can you please confirm this plot number belongs to the name of this defendant in the court order? Then they give you information. Once they get, then you make a new labona, we attach that house.
Okay, so that's if they have enough, so they have something else somewhere to cover that. I still want us to talk about what happens when there is no money. And, I don't know if you heard that Mr. Moyo mentioned the fact that he's been attacked. So we want to get back to that one. Don't you go anywhere. Stay with us. This is the Moving Humanity Forward podcast. Welcome back. This is Moving Humanity Forward, and we're talking deputy sheriffs today. I still want to get into detail. I think a couple of things we mentioned, Mr. Moyo, one of them being what happens if the person doesn't have money. Now, you said a lot of the time the plaintiff will know things about the person who owes them. They'll be able to give you that information. But what if legitimately that person does not have that money? What then happens?
The deputy sheriff files a report called nula bona. This nula bona, the plaintiff will take it to court and tell the court his story that this person, he did not show the deputy sheriff that he's got property, but I know he has property and he has means to pay me. So I want him to go to prison. Then the magistrate will issue a summons for civil imprisonment. Then he will give the complainant, the plaintiff, the summons for imprisonment. Then that summons is served on the same person. If that person doesn't go to court, or if he goes to court, but he doesn't comply with the contents of the court.
Tell me about a stave. How does that work, and can that help if I'm being
Stay.
a stay, if I'm being summoned and all of that, what does that help me anymore?
Doesn't help you. Stay is a technique. People, they used to say, I'll apply for stay. You don't apply stay if you don't have facts. You apply for a stay if your rights have been broken.
So if the procedure we're just talking about wasn't followed, would you say your rights are not have been broken in that case?
No. If actually the magistrate court, they will understand if the person, he was not served only.
Yeah, that's the only thing
Yes.
where your stay can be
Yes, can be
successful.
Yes.
Otherwise, but then how can the other person prove? Do they take photos? I can come to you with the summons and then
I give you. Usually we want you to send for verification of receipt.
What if I refuse?
I write refused.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay.
I write instantly in your presence that you are. Can you see that I'm writing that you are refusing?
And then I go and deny it.
No. I have a witness.
Okay.
I have
so
my
that's
witness.
the evidence that you then bring to the court, so the stay won't be successful.
And again, the sheriff is an officer of the court. He took allegiance when to be a deputy sheriff. You have to tell the truth at all times.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we take your word when you speak. Okay.
Yes.
So then this person goes to jail now. This person who owes money.
Yes.
Right. What happens when they go to jail? I think you mentioned as we were speaking earlier that if I'm the one taking you to jail, I need to pay a certain amount for your food or something. Break that down for me.
You pay the sheriff cost. You plaintiff pay the sheriff cost for taking the defendant to prison, and $1.50 per day times 90 days if he's given 90 days prison. Yes.
So what normally happens?
Then when he comes out, that amount is added on his debt or her debt.
The $1.50 times 90 days.
And the cost.
And the money that you costed the deputy sheriff.
That's right, yes.
So what happens then if they don't have the money still in 90 days?
Well, it depends on the plaintiff. Sometimes I took someone from Tamar 4 times in prison. Finally, he served 4 times. 90 days times 4.
So that's a year.
No, 90 days times 4.
That's a year.
Yes. So that person plaintiff ended up saying, yeah.
But he could have just continued.
Yes, you can keep on going there.
Hey.
Yeah.
So, okay, let me ask you this.
Yes.
How do you make your money then? Because you said the way you operate, you only, charge the 1,000 pula to open the case. You even give that money back, right? And then the only other time I've heard you mention money is now to take someone to jail. But so how do you...
I don't work that one alone.
Okay.
Sometimes I attach big things.
Okay.
Sometimes we are paid in terms of the amount. Like for instance, banks, they're owed big amounts. And again, sometimes you find that people have knocked each other big amounts.
Wait. Give me an example.
Yes.
A bank is owed 1 million pula.
Even 10 million.
Okay. And then how does it work? They call you to attach Mr. X.
Yes.
You attach Mr. X, you recover their 1 million pula. You sold
10 million.
You sold a house for 11 million.
Yes.
Because they needed to pay back the 10 million.
Yeah.
You're going to give back Mr. X his surplus. I think you mentioned that a little earlier.
That's right,
If there's extra, you give them back that
Very
money.
good, yes.
So where do you get your money?
No, wait. If I sell, like I sold a property for 3 million.
Okay.
There is a percentage which is guided by court.
Okay.
That I must charge so much on that amount as my commission.
Who do you charge? The person you're recovering from? Or who do you charge? Like who's paying that money?
The person who pays is the defendant. Sometimes you find that they make a mistake and say, you are paying. I mean, the person who buys.
Yeah.
He pays the sheriff cost. Commission.
Okay. Let's go back to the 10 million pula house.
Yeah.
Mr. X's house is sold for 11. He owes the bank 10, right?
Yeah.
So Mr. Y buying the house for 11, is the one who's going to pay you
My
the
commission,
deposit.
yes. Yeah.
But then that means what is that he now paying more than 11 million, or are you taking from the surplus
That is the rules
that
of court,
will go
yes.
back? So wait, is he paying more than 11 million?
Yes.
Or does it come out of?
It pays more than 11 million. Yes.
So the minute you go into an auction that is being done by a deputy sheriff, you know that whatever that amount is, there's probably going to be a little extra on top for the deputy
Only
sheriff.
on immovable.
Oh, hey.
Only on immovable.
Okay.
But on cars, movable things, no.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
You don't pay commission
Okay.
for depreciation. Only you pay commission for immovable.
So that means you don't make money when you are selling movables?
Yes.
It's only immovables that you make money.
You can make even to, like for instance, I attach a Benz, I mean his Mercedes Benz. The person who owes 50,000. If that Mercedes Benz is bought for 200,000, I charge my percentage on 200,000, then I get my commission.
So basically, it's about how much
you raise.
How much you raise.
How much you raise, yes.
Oh, and that commission will then come out of the people buying.
That's right, yeah.
Okay.
That's right,
I think that's clear now. I hope that's clear to you as well. I want to ask you something because, I run a motel and, now that I know you and if people don't pay me, can I just call you up and, get people to pay me?
No. You have to go to court.
I have to go to court.
And you have to issue summons, actually.
And I need to make sure I do it correctly because that's the only thing that actually, if I do wrong.
Yes. If somebody owes you less than 40,000,
yes,
it's small claims.
Okay.
You can do your summons for that yourself at small claims.
Yes.
Small claims was created to deal with mostly people who are not equipped in terms of the knowledge. That's why they don't need lawyers to represent you to recover small amounts. You can go there and adduce your evidence. Then the magistrate will make a judgment and give you the writ. Then you find the deputy sheriff and instruct him to collect.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's illegal to call you and say, go help me, and then you help me. If I do that.
No. I'll tell you that no, I'm not authorized to do your summons.
Yeah.
I know how to do your summons, but me as a deputy sheriff, I've never done a summons for someone. Just because I know that once you do a summons, now you are now a part. You're having an interest. So you won't be able to execute.
You won't be objective.
Yeah, to execute.
Wait, so it's illegal for you to
draft a summons
and then also now be the deputy sheriff?
No, you can't. It's not allowed. Yeah.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay. So let's now look at something that I asked you earlier to say. Being attacked. I can imagine nobody wants their car, house, anything movable or even movable property to be taken.
Yes.
Have you had incidents where you were attacked?
Yes, of course.
You have?
I once attacked. That was in 2000.
You attacked?
I was attacked by someone.
What happened?
This guy, he was owing someone, the amount actually which was owing was, he had borrowed money, was attending a wedding. But he failed to pay back the money which he borrowed when he was having a wedding. Then that person sued him. When I followed this person was so angry. He wanted to stab me at my back. Then I blocked the knife. He stabbed me here. Fortunately. Yes. But I managed to pin him down. Yes.
So how you're able to, you said, you are basically an officer of the law at that point in time. You are
an officer of the law is allowed to defend himself by all means at his disposal. Yes. So
did you press an assault case? I mean, that's assault now.
He was in prison 3 years. But unfortunately, he was given 3 years suspended without committing a crime.
Yeah.
But he died before. He was stabbed by someone by a knife. You see.
That's very sad.
Yes.
I mean, speaking of weddings, something else I wanted to know. Do you work weekends as well?
We work from Monday to Saturday.
Okay.
Yes.
So you don't work Sundays?
No.
Okay.
But on Sunday, if I have a warrant of arrest, I can pick you at any time where you are.
On Sunday?
Yes.
So warrant of arrest, your name can execute it.
A warrant of arrest,
24/7.
yeah, it's 24/7.
Yo.
Yes.
I think I'm going to close off this conversation very soon and get your contact details. But I wanted to ask you something that, occurred to me as we were speaking. It has to do with almost embarrassing people, Mr. Boyo. Can you speak to that?
No. Well, deputy sheriff is an officer of the court. He has to be assertive at all times. He has to be disciplined. He needs to be a person who respects the law. He is a person who's supposed to greet people and identify himself and tell the people that I'm looking for Mr. So-and-so or for Mr. So-and-so. If they confirm that this person resides here, is the owner of the premises, you'll try by all means to get his contact if he's not there so that you can talk to the person. Some, they attend nicely. That's why I'll tell you that this incidence of attacking, it happened in 2020. No, it was 2000.
Yeah, so 25 years ago.
Since then, I've never
had an attack.
No. Some, it's very minor. It's very minor.
You had minor attacks.
Eh.
So how to see?
No, I get choose. I get late gore motho a choose.
So how is on le motho go tshusitseng?
I get choose.
Okay.
No.
Well, let's close it off like that. If you're looking for a deputy sheriff, we have one here in studio. He goes by the name Debrain James Moyo. Mr. Moyo, where do people find you? How can they get a hold of you if they need a deputy sheriff?
Botswana, they know where I am, Kabunzi. My number is 721-9266. Ha o tsena kwa maka strata e lo batla moyo ba go thusa ela speed ke thusa maka strata le industrial court cases ba di tlisa go hona ka gore batho ba industrial court a ke ba duelise ke ba direla hela ka gore ke gore ke a bona gore batho ba bana madi so ha motho a re mo ke na le court order ke e tswa industrial court ku ba ke na madi ke a mo direla ke mo nela madi a gotle
And yeah, that's how we're going to close it off. It's called Moving Humanity Forward, and we'd love for you to like and subscribe on Facebook, MHF Podcast, on YouTube, as well as LinkedIn and TikTok. You need to find the Moving Humanity Forward podcast, and please like and share as well as subscribe. My name is Kathy Malajani. We'll catch you next time.